Good evening and welcome to the first of three meetings tonight. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove. And at this time, we will convene our Board of Sanitation meeting for Monday, May the 7th, 2018. In lieu of a roll call, I will ask each participant to introduce themselves, beginning on my far right.
Dave Harrison.
Dan McMillan, Clerk Treasurer.
Craig Wiley, City Attorney.
Sandy Seward.
Thank you, Board. You have been presented a printed copy of the minutes of the previous meeting dated Monday, April 16th, 2018. The floor is open for any questions, comments, or corrections.
I have none, thank you.
I have none.
No questions, comments, or corrections. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. This evening, Board, we have 4 pages of wastewater claims in the amount of $140,986.24. Floor is open for any questions or comments.
I have none, thank you.
I have none.
No questions or comments. I'll ask for a motion to approve the wastewater claims dated May 7th, 2018 in the amount of $140,986.24.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I also vote aye, and the motion carries. We have no unfinished business to carry over from the previous meeting. We have no new business this evening. Council member or board member comments?
I have none, thank you.
I have none.
No comments. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
The meeting is adjourned at 6:02 p.m. We will convene the Board of Works meeting within 5 minutes. Thank you. 6:04.
Okay, that's fine.
Good evening and welcome to the second of 3 meetings tonight. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove. And at this time, we will convene our Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for Monday, May the 7th, 2018. In lieu of a roll call, I will ask each participant to introduce themselves, beginning on my far right.
Dave Harrison.
Dan McMillan, Clerk Treasurer.
Craig Wiley, City Attorney.
Sandy Seward.
Thank you, Board. You have been presented a printed copy of the minutes of the previous meeting dated Monday, April 16th, 2018. The floor is open for any questions, comments, or corrections.
I have none, thank you.
I have no comments.
No questions, comments, or corrections. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I vote aye, and the motion carries as well. Thank you, Board. This evening, we have 32 pages of corporate claims in the amount of $1,144,146.06. The floor is open for questions or comments.
I have none, thank you.
I have none.
No questions or comments. I'll ask for a motion to approve the corporate claims dated May 7th, 2018 in the amount of $1,144,146.06.
Make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Thank you. We move to unfinished business. We have 2 items. The quote award for ambulance rechassis. Chief?
Mayor and Board, I come before you today recommending acceptance of the 2018 ambulance remount specification bid received from Fire Service, Inc. The bid meets our printed specifications with approximate delivery time of 75 to 90 calendar days. I'd be glad to answer any questions you have over the bid itself, the process, and exactly what we will be doing with this rechassied ambulance.
Board has any questions?
We did this before, is this the same company that we went with before?
No, this is a different company. This is Fire Service, Inc. And the company that's going to be performing the rechassis is Rev, and they're out of North Carolina. A couple different items with this specification bid. This is on one of the road rescue boxes, and it's one of the latest ambulances we've purchased. With the bid process, if you remember our last ambulance we had rechassied, it was at a much lower price. With this refurbish, they're taking the box off. While they have the box off, they're going to do corrosion control on that box, sand it down, take care of some problem areas, and they're actually repainting that box, replacing all the hardware, latches for that box, also with the restriping. They're replacing the floor on the back, and the main item is they're going to place a striker self-loading cot system in there. So basically, we're going to make it safer for our patients and our personnel by having this system in this truck. And that's why it's an increase of price.
Thank you.
Dave, any questions or comments?
How much increase is it over what we had done before?
I'd have to take a look. We were under 98,000, I believe, for the last rechassis. When you look at the price of how significantly it's over from the last, those are the reasons why.
Okay.
Thank you.
Isn't there a cot improvement too?
Yes, with the self-load system. The self-load system will help not only save the backs of our personnel, but they won't actually be lifting that cot and the patient up into the truck. The cot itself will connect to the self-load. You press a button, and the cot wheels come up, and it actually holds the cot and places the patient inside the back of the truck. Pike Township has the self-load system, and it's just phenomenal. It's decreased workman's comp injuries. It's decreased patient liability and falls and the risk of turning over a cot, having a heavy patient, lose balance. It's quite a plus for our personnel and the citizens we serve.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the chief's request to award the quote to Fire Service, Inc. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. I do have the sales contract with me this evening, if it is approved. And there's also a tag-on clause for this rechassis. And it's good for 3 years. So if we're looking at doing the same rechassis to our other road rescue truck, it's very beneficial to us.
I'll make said motion, Dennis.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. You have 2 copies, Rob?
Yes, one for us and one for Fire Service Inc. And there's just one signature.
I want I'd really like for you to take a look at this. Can we get these back to you like in the next couple days? Yeah, I would like for our attorney to look at this before we move on, or before we sign it. And Rob, do you sign it, or?
You can sign it, or I can sign it on behalf of the city. It's up to Craig, I think, at this point, after he takes a look at it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get back with you.
Great, thank you very much.
All right.
These are identical copies, Rob?
Yes.
Okay.
Next order of business is notice to proceed on Churchman Avenue Drainage Project. Jeremy Burns with Westland. Jeremy, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
The most important question of the night. Emily, have her baby yet?
No, we have not heard anything, so no, not yet.
All right.
So yes, tonight I have the notice to proceed with Smith Projects for the Churchman Avenue and Man Drive drainage improvement projects. I also have the original agreement that can be signed too, so we can get all the contract documents in order. I have the performance bond and the insurance requirements from Smith Projects also. So everything's in order, and then if it's approved, we'll move forward with a pre-construction meeting and get the project under schedule.
Any questions or comments from board members?
I have none.
I have none.
If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the notice to proceed for the Churchman Avenue and Man Drive Drainage Improvement Project.
I'll make said motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Please approach Jeremy.
Three copies of the notice to proceed.
And one is ours. Ours, Dan.
Okay.
Here's these two.
Right, and then two copies of the agreement for you and Devin.
And will you coordinate with Brad, the pre-construction meeting, Brad and Phil?
Brad and Phil, yep. there we go.
Danny? Okay.
I think that's a better, if you want to keep that.
Okay, yep,
There's all the bonds.
Okay.
And insurance, and
okay.
then
Do
I'll
you-
get this back to Smith.
Do you happen to know they do have the city listed as additional insured on this?
Yeah, it's on the last
Okay.
page of the
All right,
insurance. Yeah,
that's
I
the
can
main
double
thing.
Yep.
Thank you.
All righty, thank you very much.
That concludes unfinished business carried over from the previous meeting. Under new business, we have several items. The first is 2018 Stormwater Project Number 2, approval to seek quotes. Are you doing that one, Jeremy?
Which one now?
This one here.
I have Killian Drive.
That's it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so, again, thanks for having me tonight. And for the project I have tonight is Killian Drive. It was identified through several drainage complaints through the city's process. And it involves some standing water in the cul-de-sac on Killian Drive. And also, the standing water is a safety hazard for motorists. Also, it's caused deterioration of some of the curbs and sidewalks in that cul-de-sac. So we're looking at adding 2 inlets, and then replacing a 3rd inlet and connecting it with a 12-inch RCP and some partial curb and sidewalk replacement in that area. The quote package and the drawings have been prepared, and pending tonight's approval, we'll move forward with the requesting solicitation of quotes from different contractors that we've used in the past. The estimated cost estimate is $61,000.
This is the Killian Drive right off of Redford, all the way to the back, and the court back there. And we've been out there a couple times. That whole neighborhood's bad,
Yes.
and it's just gonna take a long time to fix. But, yeah, we'll open it up to the board members.
Was this on our list of things that had to be fixed, or is it, this is one of the emergencies?
No,
that-
this is on the list.
On the list, okay, thank you.
There's about there's about 2 or 3 more down there in that neighborhood
Okay,
that are really need
okay,
addressed.
okay.
Dave, any thoughts?
No.
If not, I'll ask for a motion to allow Wessler to approve or to seek quotes to repair drainage project on Killian Drive.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I also vote aye, and the motion carries.
Thank you very much. Again, I'll keep Brad and Bill in the loop on everything. Move forward.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy. Next order of business is professional service agreement with ERS. ERS is the company that removed the underground tanks at DPW and the police department. Now it's time for them to do some groundwater testing out of DPW. And this is a proposal for quarterly groundwater monitoring at the Beech Grove Department of Public Works. So when I got this, I called Craig to ask for direction on, is this a professional services agreement, or should we quote this bid, or quote this out and seek bids? So
It's a professional services agreement.
it's okay to proceed?
Yes.
Okay. And what they'll do, they'll come out quarterly and do some groundwater testing. And I think, Brad's not here tonight, he's sick, but I would say, I think at the DPW, we're about 3 to 5 years from being completely done out there with any type of testing. The police department, not so much. I mean, they'll take longer, but this one's going pretty good. So, and all of this money that we spend on this testing, it's testing on page 3, $32.50 per quarter. All of that is refundable through the ELF program. So we will get this money back.
So why are we doing this? Because we had the leak,
We took the tanks out and there was contamination,
right?
so we cleaned it up, and now they have to monitor, per IDEM, they have to monitor the ground and the groundwater.
Okay,
So quarterly, they have to do tests and submit it, and then there'll come a point when IDEM will tell them you don't have to do it anymore. So this is what this is. We'll be seeing this from the police department soon, but theirs will have an extended time. So, Dave, any questions on this?
No.
If not, I'll ask for motion to approve the proposal for quarterly groundwater monitoring for DPW with ERS.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Thank you. There's a couple public disclosures that I wanted to get out there. We don't have to approve these. It's just to make sure there's no question. The first one is board, recently, the parking lot at 2509 Albany was patched and partially repaved. This is home to Pizza Hut, Payless Liquors, Family Dollar, Humble Beginnings, and a church. I want to publicly disclose that the city of Beech Grove did not do any of this work, and the city of Beech Grove did not pay for any of this work. This is a public disclosure for all to witness.
Thank you.
And another one was, board, recently the parking lot at 1815 Albany was paved and restriped. This is home to Safeway Food Store, and by the way, it really looks good. I want to publicly disclose that the city of Beech Grove did not do any of this work, and the city of Beech Grove hasn't paid for any of this work. This is a public disclosure for all to witness. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that.
Thank you.
Next, the Community Crossings Grant modification. This was in your packet, and this is not for approval either. This is just for public information. We were originally awarded $396,776 through the Community Crossings Grant. As a result of good bids throughout the state, recipients of this grant had their grant modified. So we will be receiving, instead of $396,776, we will be receiving $338,449 from the state. So we have to modify our work to codify that, so we don't go over budget. So there's been a couple of things done, and we just want to make sure that we come in with the funds that we have available and not have a shortage. So that is just for disclosure as well for you tonight. And it's nothing we've done. We just got, throughout the state, they got good bids this year. And which is a good thing, actually. So we'll move on to July 3rd, pyrotechnics approval. Chief, you want to come back up and go through this with us?
Great, Mayor and Board, what you have is the application for Circle City Pyrotechnics for July 3rd fireworks. With their permit, they have included a map site, which this shoot site has not changed, and also their certificate of insurance was included. Once this is approved, I'll go ahead and sign off. I have their check and envelope ready to go in my office.
This is the same outfit that did it last year? and
Yes, that
previous
is
years?
correct.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the process. They have to get a local permit through us.
Yes, I believe they did
This
last
is the
year,
state
and this
permit?
is the state permit.
Okay. And then they have to provide, and I've seen some insurance back here, which holds the Promoters Club certificate holder, but should that say?
It should say City of Beech Grove also because, as additional insured, because the way that reads, it kind of looks like the only one they're protecting is the Promoters Club.
Can you reach out to Circle City?
Yes, I'll give them a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no comment between Beech Grove Promoters Club and City of Beech Grove under additional insured. So unless Craig wants to take a look at that and.
I think that if they would provide a cleaner copy, then, and then they have to get a local permit, then they'll be done.
Okay.
Any questions from board members?
Nope.
Not, I'll ask for motion to approve the permit for supervised public display of fireworks for Circle City Pyrotechnics.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a vendor's license ice cream truck for Frosted Dreams. And Chief, you want to comment on this?
I've looked at the names of those that want to do this, and I think the other ice cream trucks that I would disapprove this petition. I don't think it's good for the city and for the people that want to do it. I don't think that are, at this time, good citizens.
The council approved an ordinance that prohibits selling of any type of food from a vehicle.
True.
So before we would allow this to happen, we would have to, they'd have to change the rules.
True.
So, board members, you got comments? Sure. Are you the applicant? Well, come on up. You have a right to be heard.
I'm aware of safety. I'm aware of, you know, all the rules and regulations that go along with those ice cream trucks. And I'm prepared to follow those. Sure you did background checks? I know we've passed background checks. We passed them last year. Just so happened when this meeting occurred last year, we were in the process of getting married, so I couldn't attend then. But you know, as far as all the rules and regulations of Beech Grove, I have children of my own, so you know, I know kids like to run out in the road. I know, you know, that they hear sirens, you know, they come running. I'm well aware that we can't drive down the roads, the streets of Beech Grove with the siren on. I'm well of that. But I'm prepared to, you know, drive down the road with no siren and pull over and watch, you know, for kids or whatnot before allowing them to come to the truck. But all I'm asking for is, for whatever reason they were banned from here before, I am a resident of Beech Grove. And, you know, I would like the opportunity to show you that we can do what we need to do and, you know, and run our trucks here.
The council approved an ordinance either last year or the year before that prohibited any type of food sales from a vehicle, moving vehicle, which include, not only is, it's not just ice cream truck, it's meat trucks, any type of truck like that. And it also, they also approved an ordinance that disallows door-to-door solicitation unless you are a not-for-profit. So I can't, this board can't go against the ordinance established by the city council. If you want these types of trucks to go up and down the street, you should petition the council to change that rule.
Okay,
That's what you should do.
okay,
Because I can't vote yes for it, and when I know by ordinance it's not allowed. So, and I wouldn't know these people, I don't know these people, I wouldn't know if they walked in here, you know. But I do know what the council passed, and I have to follow that rule. I don't have any recourse.
okay,
So, we do have ordinances that you might look into for food trucks, but they're non-moving.
yeah,
They're stationary. They're in one spot for a prolonged period of time. You might look at that, but I'll open it up for any board members' comments. But from my perspective, I would have to recommend that we disapprove this application.
If you wanna do something stationary, you gotta get a permit for that too.
Yeah.
yes, I'm aware of that,
Okay, so if you wanna go down to the park or something like that,
yes, I'm aware of that.
okay. It's just the moving truck is the issue.
So like at the 4th of July fireworks, would that be a permissible
No,
thing?
they would have to go under the promoters club. Promoters club would
Promoters
have to
club.
give them approval.
Oh, okay.
Same way with the fall festival or the
Yeah.
car show, unless it's on private property. If it's on private property, then all bets are off. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not our place.
Right.
But there still would be a permit required.
Not if it's on private property.
But, yeah,
Okay.
for the other events, there would be,
But you would fall under their,
License,
yeah.
like the promoters club. But you'd have to go through them. Dennis, I'd just like to state, this was not put on the website, not that we were trying to hide anything, but the reason being is your social security numbers were on here, your driver's license, address, things like that. So, this was not put on there for that reason.
Okay,
So, at this time, I'll ask for a motion to deny the request.
Said motion.
second.
Based
All those-
on we have an ordinance in the city against this.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Last order of business, board, and it was not on the agenda, I just got this afternoon, was a request from Horner Park Community Center to hire a following person as facility attendant starting on May the 9th. $10.25 per hour, not work more than 29 hours per week, and the applicant has passed the prerequisites for holding this position. So, there's not a whole lot of comment on it. I mean, they've got this pool of money, and if they have one person or 15, they still have this pool of money to work out of, so. Dave, any thoughts?
No. Good on.
If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the request from Angel McKenna.
I'll make said motion.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Thank you. That concludes new business this evening. Comments from board members?
I have none, thank you.
I have none.
If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
The meeting is adjourned at 6:32 PM. We will convene the city council meeting this evening at 7 PM. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the third and final meeting tonight. My name is Dennis Buckley, Mayor of the City of Beech Grove. And at this time, we will convene our common council meeting for Monday, May 7th, 2018. In lieu of a roll call, I will ask each participant to introduce themselves, beginning on my left.
Jim Brooks, Council at Large.
Dave Harrison, Councilman, District 5.
Dan McMillan, Clerk Treasurer.
Craig Wiley, City Attorney.
Vita Mascari, Councilman, District 2.
Elizabeth Lamping, Council District 1.
Chris Duffer, District 3.
Kevin Day, District 4.
The council president pro tem, Bud Templin, has an excused absence this evening. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Tonight, council will begin with special presentations. First up would be our youth council report. Liz?
Hi, guys. Yeah, haven't been here in a while. You guys hopefully remember me. This is my last ever one, and so I'm like super woo. Yeah, I also did that. Yeah. So recap. We hosted the IASP Academic Super Bowl in mid-April. We took first place in our division in English, second for science, and third for social studies. Our student leadership team finished their spring blood drive the week before last and collected 97 usable pints of blood. That's a lot. So big thank you to all of the people that gave blood. I didn't because I wasn't there that day. Oops. Our National Honor Society hosted a Miracle Mile and a great success, benefiting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And then we showcased on our students, athletes, who have signed with a college/university last Friday, and congratulate and wish them luck and their future endeavors. And I think that's all I'm saying at the moment.
Yes. Can I ask when do you start your duty in the Navy?
I get shipped out July.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gonna keep in touch with us?
I'll be
Some
back
Facebook?
once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah. If she lets me, I might come in November and say
Good.
hi.
Good.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe.
of course. A huge thank you to Bishop, and I know Deja joined us a few times. She is trying to work that into her work schedule, but we're excited next year. Our student council plans to assign visits for the youth report, so I'll be meeting with them in May, and that will be a really good time. So a few things on the front of all of our business and college and career preparedness, also our testing. We have a partnership with ABC that Paige Anderson was really instrumental in starting this year, and 3 of our students are actually gainfully employed while in high school now, so very excited about that partnership and the future with that. We will continue down that front. We will test about 54 days next year in the 180 school day instructional time. So we're transitioning away from ISTEP into SAT, ACT, ASVAB with a lot of the pathways for students. So we are both excited and a little weary of that testing schedule, but we will get it done. Our ISMA, our music department received for the first time ever the ISMA All Music Award, which you become eligible for if your choir and band places at so many levels. So we congratulate them this time, first time in school history. And if you'd like to join us for a few upcoming things, tomorrow night we will celebrate our art show. On Friday, June 1st, we will celebrate Baccalaureate, where we honor our top 10 students and their selected top 10 educators. Saturday, June 2nd is commencement. And then, the Wednesday before that, I believe it's May 23rd, is our academic awards night. So please feel free to join us. Do you have any questions for us?
Bishop, what's your last name so I can put it into the minutes?
Smith.
Oh, that ought to be easy.
Yeah, it's
Thank
super
you.
easy.
Are they gonna start growing, how's the planting going for the gardens?
We actually received, I think, a really big compliment. They, the garden project released us, so we can now do our own sort of schedule with planting, which I think is a good compliment. So it's going very well. We struggled with the weather and what it decided to do in the spring, but we have a few things that are still there that they were able to cover and save. We also, you probably saw in the South Side Times, in partnership with Bruce By, some of our students helped to develop a garden there in the sort of outskirts of the community. So it's going very well, very well.
Thank you.
I forgot 2 things. One, we also have prom this weekend, so that's exciting. And 2, my mom will probably murder me if I forget to say this. Throughout the span of me living here, we've taken in a lot of animals, and this year alone, I think I've mostly paid for it because I have a couple jobs, so I make more money sometimes. I think I've spayed and neutered 15 cats and dogs throughout the span of this year, and I think we're halfway through, more than halfway, I think. I forget what month we're in sometimes. But she just wanted me to say that and emphasize how much that to a lot of the people in the community that dealing with that issue is for us. So there, that's my last. Thank you for having me for 2 years. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up on special presentations, if you've ever did a guided tour of Italy, could you please come forward? Council, Joni Sutton, forever in 3 days have taken kids on tours of Italy through the high school and school district. So this last trip must have been amazing because some of the chaperones have contacted me about publicly recognizing her at a council meeting. So here we are, and I would like to read this into the record. In appreciation to Joni Sutton for preparing and organizing international trips for Beech Grove middle and high school students and their chaperones. So Joni, thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you.
All right, this is for you. And you have some wonderful friends.
We do, we got some wonderful students.
And you got a husband that tells a pretty good story.
Then I go, why are you going to the city council meeting?
Next year trip?
3 years. I
3
hope
years.
to take another one. I don't want to conflict with Washington DC trip, which we did this year. So we're going to give them their 2 years when we hope to go somewhere in 3 years. I was hoping for 10 people, and we filled an entire bus from Beech Grove, which they said is very, very hard to do. So I'm very proud of the families that took on extra jobs and made it a priority for their kids to go. So 52 of us Beech Grovers roamed around Italy. It was pretty amazing.
And you have a gift card for where?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
Napoli.
Napoli Villa?
I just told my husband, I said, I've never been up here. I said, this is perfect.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. And the art show is Tuesday tomorrow, so please come see it. It's pretty amazing.
Council, in your packet is a request for rezoning through the Department of Metropolitan Development. The zoning out on Adelaide and Cashard, Artizone Enterprises desires to expand their business, and in order to do that, they have to have a variance. And in order for that to happen, the council has to approve the variance request and do the hearing. So I'm going to defer to Craig to go through some of the guidelines to see if you folks want to, in fact, hear this case. Greg?
Yeah, so everybody got a copy of the construction engineer's plan. It's gonna be 2 phases. They're gonna put a storage facility on phase 1, phase 2. They're gonna put an office and warehouse. It's not a variance where it go through our BZA, it's a rezoning. So what the council can do is, they can vote to put this on our docket for next, at our next meeting, and then they'll come and tell us why they want this particular rezoning. There's always a chance that, the folks downtown will reverse us, probably not, but we have jurisdiction, so if we don't vote to hear this, the folks downtown will, so, I guess what we need to do is vote as to whether this gets put on our docket for the next meeting.
I'll open it up to council comments.
So do you know what's in the warehouse? What exactly I wanted to see with this business?
They do all types of construction,
Okay.
especially commercial construction.
Okay, will there be anything as far as hazardous wastes or anything that we have to be concerned about there?
I couldn't answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a question for folks when they come to
Okay.
us. for next meeting.
And how about jobs? Does this bring jobs in, do you know, or increase our tax base, or?
I don't know. It increases our tax base immensely. And I think in your packet, it also comments that it's good for the school district as well.
Okay. As long as they get a golf team for the Beech Grove Chamber.
What's the residents on, I mean, I don't know, it's probably a question for them, but I'm just wondering what the opinion is the Adelaide residents is. I mean, is it gonna increase traffic down the street? Is it gonna?
So they'll get notice. The summons will be sent, and they'll be given notice of the hearing, so people can come and there'll be remonstrators. They can come and say, you know, what our position is on that. So it'd be an issue that you have to factor into your vote.
Okay.
What I understand, all we're doing is making a statement that we put it on next month's docket, right?
Correct, we're not approving it, we're just voting whether we want to put it on our docket for the next meeting.
I'll make a motion to put on next month's docket.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. We have to hear this within 30 days of tonight, so it'll be on the June 4th agenda. Thank you. The special presentation for Okra Planning Grant update has been postponed until the June meeting. They're just not quite prepared to do it yet. So we will hear that in June. Also tonight, the Economic Development Commission would like to address the council on an update. So if there's someone here from EDC.
Good evening, Council. My name is Andrew Noon, and this is Susie McMillan, and we're both members on the Economic Development Committee. And we just were coming down here tonight to be able to introduce ourselves. We are just getting started off as a organization. We are still trying to attain some funding, and we did have a good meeting about 2 weeks ago that involved, his name's Mike Kleinpeter, who I believe we're going to use as a grant writer to go through and try and get some Okra grants. I believe he is currently the grant writer for, is that Next Stop Beech Grove?
I think that's been him.
I believe that's what he had informed us of the last time, but there was some interesting stuff going on in the meeting that we were coming in here to maybe just give the council a little bit of an idea about. I know we're currently doing a community readiness initiative through the city. But one of the items that I think might be a good idea for the council to maybe consider funding would be a income-based study that could allow us, if done correctly, to be able to qualify for quite a myriad of Okra grants. Some of those grants could include planning grants to be able to help the Economic Development Committee, but also grants to be able to help. One of the things that we found interesting was sewer and wastewater.
And
And the fire department as well.
A new firehouse. There are Okra grants available for all those things.
But one of the things that Mr. Kleinpeter had informed us that essentially would need to be done beforehand, and this didn't necessarily have to be done beforehand for Next Stop Beech Grove, because the area Next Stop Beech Grove was focused on was an area that had already been blighted. But trying to do a income survey of the entirety of the city of Beech Grove, and he couldn't give us exactly what a definite number would be of income below this level or above this level to be able to qualify for these grants. But I do believe that Beech Grove, giving its very blue-collar tradition and typical income level, would have a good chance of being able to qualify for these Okra grants, and it might be something that could definitely benefit the city. But we just wanted to take a minute of your time to be able to come in here and say maybe it's something that when they come in for the next Okra planning grant session, maybe it could be brought up or maybe looked into a little bit about doing an income survey.
Well, and the cost of it, he told us, was going to be approximately $4,000. And we as an Economic Development Commission can't go any further. We have no money for anything. So in order for us to even apply for an economic development grant, we would have to have the economic survey done first. That has to be done first. And we actually cannot apply for that. It would have to be the city that applies for that, the same way with the economic development grant, correct?
With the
It would
planning
have-
grant.
Yeah, it would have to be the city that actually applies for that, and that is a 80-20 grant. It's the same way with, like the sewer and stormwater grants he talked about. He said those are available for $500,000, $700,000, and those are mostly 80-20. He did not tell us how much the fire department, or how much a firehouse grant you can get for that, but he did tell us that's 80-20 also. And he said that at one point, he even recalls one city that built a fire department and police department together, and they won't pay for a police department. Don't ask me why, I don't know, but they'll pay for a fire department. But they actually paid for that portion of the fire department, but not the portion of the police department. So Andrew and I both thought, wow, that's pretty interesting. We'd never heard that there were grants available to work on our sewers, to work on our stormwaters, to build a new firehouse, and there's federal grants as well, but we can't do any of it unless we have this income-based survey done first. And we thought Mike Kleinpeter was the perfect person. He already has quite a bit of information about the city of Beech Grove because of the Next Stop Beech Grove, is that what it's called, right? That he's been working on. Now, one thing about it is we could work on this, but we couldn't actually apply for the grant yet. We would have to wait because Next Stop is planning on applying for a construction grant in July, or in November. And so that will be two, is that correct? Two of the three or something like that.
You're allowed to have 3 going at one time, but no more than.
Right, and they roll off. As one rolls off, then you can apply for another one. But we didn't want to mess up. We were very adamant about not wanting to mess up anything that Next Stop is trying to do. So we agreed that if we could get this income-based survey done, which would be helpful to the entire city in so many ways, that we would wait till after Next Stop had applied for their construction grant, right, in November, and then we'll start applying for ours. But we need for the council to approve, and I don't know how, maybe somebody could bring forth a resolution or something that says you will be willing to spend the $4,000 for the income survey grant, or income survey.
Now, the survey, you have to get that out to individual, or you already have an idea of, it's going to be from individual
It
citizens?
has to go to the, it has to go to everybody affected in the city. And then if they don't get a certain percentage back.
My understanding of the way that it is done is it's a randomized survey. They basically take the number of households in the city of Beech Grove, and there's a percentage that has to be surveyed, and the number, is just taken off of a computer of a household. A survey is then sent out that wants to know what is the total household income, what are the total number of the people in the household, and if the surveys aren't answered voluntarily, then the company or service would eventually send out people to go door to door to try and fulfill those, and if for some reason it just can't be fulfilled, then that number goes back into the lottery and we reselect from a random.
Okay, so you keep trying to, okay, and then that $4,000 would cover those second letters.
That was our
and those knocks on
understanding
the
from
doors.
what we were informed.
Yeah, because you'd have to have a certain amount of return surveys to get where you want, okay.
And that survey is very intensive. It's very work intensive. So he doesn't just take it lightly and just want to do those. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
He's willing to do it for us to help us to try to apply for some of these grants that are available.
Sure.
And then he also mentioned that there are other grants available out there, but he doesn't write for them. He only writes for Okra. but like there's federal grants and things that this would apply to, that you have to have these surveys done. I was actually going to call the school today, and I didn't get the opportunity. Do you know if you guys have one that has been done recently? Have you applied for any federal grants or anything?
We have applied for state grants. I think the one, the coalition also did federal grants, I believe. So we have, yes.
So have you done an income survey? Do you know if you have one?
The coalition might have, I don't believe we did.
Okay.
I can check.
I would appreciate that. We would appreciate that very much, wouldn't we?
It just sounded like something that could open up a lot of doors, and that's one of the reasons why we thought we would come down and just bring it to the council's attention.
If they've had that done, does that transfer over and
Well, we should
for
be
your
able to, I would
purposes?
hope we could use it if they've had it
Depends on
done.
how long ago it
I was
was.
gonna say, do they survive, do they expire, these surveys, do they expire, do they, like,
Yeah.
Income survey is only good for 6 years.
okay.
I got a question. I think it's a good idea, but would it come out of the council's
Now, where does
budget?
it come, yeah?
I don't know, $4,000 we could find somewhere, I think as beneficial as that would be. And one important thing, this does pay, last week I got $24,000 from Okra out of a $40,000 grant. And the only reason why this was $24,000, that's all we've had billed to us. So as soon as that other $16,000 is used and spent and paid to whoever, then you can roll over to another grant. So right now, like they said, the second one would be Next Stop Beech Grove. But once the 24,000 planning grant or the 40,000, it will be rolled over, and then that opens up 2 more positions for grants of whatever. And I think they did park grants. There's all different kinds of things.
There's all different things. I
Yeah.
was amazed. I was in shock, actually. I was like,
So these are 80/20, so that means
Yes.
we'd have to come up with the 20, but you're hoping the EDC by that time maybe will have some revenue
maybe,
source?
or maybe
have-
you could find it in the
Yeah.
sewer budget if we were doing sewage things, or if we were doing corporate things, you could find it in your corporate budget, RDC budget, you've got all these budgets. So
It's
I would
just-
hope that you could find the 20%.
It's just like paving. A lot of our grants for it was 80/20. I think Main Street
Right.
might have been 90/10. So like she's saying, whatever budget, if it's sewer projects, it'd come out as sewer. If it was others, corporate.
I just think it'd be a wonderful thing for the city of Beech Grove. We need it.
I think it'd be wise if we just stay in contact with schools and see how old that is and see if we can.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we can reuse it and not spend more money, then
Yeah,
that'd be.
yeah, that, if not, then I'm in favor of getting this thing
Okay.
done.
The only thing I will say about that, the city schools enrollment is 1/3 out of city students, and
Out of city
that-
limits, you mean?
Yeah, they live
And it
outside
does
the
have
city
to
limits.
just be to the people in the city of Beech Grove.
So I'm not sure
If
that
they
there's
used it
a-
outside of Beech Grove, it
May
would
not be
not
big
work
enough.
for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you for your time.
Great, thanks.
It's called an income.
Couple more things on that, council, is the city did do an income survey back in 2005,
Okay.
and that's expired. We started one in 2013, but we found out through Okra that our ordinances were not current enough to proceed for any type of funding. So in order for us to get any funding, we had to change several of our ordinances, which included fair housing, harassment, discrimination, ordinances such as that. But now we're able to do that, and it never hurts to have an income survey. And it's a simple yes or no vote to proceed with it. So I'll defer that to the President Pro Tem when he gets back, and we'll go from there.
So we need to wait for Bud to,
Not necessarily, I mean, but I always defer as protocol to the president, so. But if you want to proceed, you can.
I'm
Just a
wi-
simple motion.
yeah, I'm willing to make a motion to proceed with the income survey.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Then we'll get with Andrew, we'll get with you and move forward. Committee reports, that concludes special presentation. Committee reports, ABC. Welcome back, Ashley.
Good evening, council members. Today we had two on the docket for the Alcohol and Beverage Commission meeting. We had a new transfer application for BG31 Incorporated. They're doing business as BG31 Incorporated. They're located at 3131 East Troy Avenue. And we approved that application, the transfer. We have another one. It's Ricky Allen Skirvin doing business as Night Owls at 341 First Avenue, Emerson. And we've actually continued that to next month because he didn't show up today. So we're going to continue that. So any other questions?
Actually,
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Does he have pending violations?
Yes, there is actually one pending violation for
From
his.
last year or this year?
For this year.
Who,
So
where'd the violation come from?
excise cops.
What was the violation?
I don't know yet because the report is not done yet. It's still pending, so.
Actually, the one, I didn't get the address, but anyway, is that the old Village Pantry on
I think
25th
so.
and Keystone?
I think so. There's 3 owners of it. The guy that purchased that showed up today is the first time business owner. So I don't know the other 2 that were part of the deal. So
I seen they
I
were
think it
doing
is the
construction
Village
down there.
Pantry.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
any other questions? All
What was your
right.
first day back?
It was rough. Today was my first day back from maternity leave, so it was a struggle to leave the little guy, so. Thank you very much.
Go home.
Yes, run home. All right, have a great evening, thank you.
Thanks.
Greenscape Commission, you should have their report on file, compliance and public safety. The last report is financial. Dan?
Good evening, counselors. In April, we made a skid steer payment in the amount of $7,892.73. The Stormwater Fund, as of 4/30/2018, had a balance of $284,768.06. Community events can be added free of charge by emailing me at dan.mcmillan@beechgrove.com. Thanks to the website volunteers who continue to keep it updated at no cost to the taxpayers. Financial report, debt service, bank balances, and more can be found on the city website at www.beechgrove.com. The bank balances listed below, the corporation account, which is what we use the most, had $3,589,238.17. The utility account had $980,757.93. The rest of them I won't read off because we don't use them that often. As always, if you have any questions, my door is always open. Thank you. Respectfully submitted, Dan McMillan, Clerk Treasurer.
Questions or comments for the clerk? If not, we'll move to the reading of minutes for approval. You've been presented a printed copy of the minutes of the previous meeting dated April 2nd, 2018. Floor is open for any questions, comments, or corrections. There's no questions, comments, or corrections. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Presented.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. We'll move to public comments. Craig?
Susie, you still want to speak?
Yeah. So counselors, it recently came to my attention, I'd had people tell me for quite some time that our public access channel does not work. and I had no idea of it, so I turned it on the other day, and there is no public access channel. So the meetings that we have here, nobody sees them. We're the only, whoever's here is the only ones that see them. And then if you get on YouTube, or 2 weeks later, you get on the website, same way with YouTube. They're not on YouTube for 2 weeks. But it advertises, if you go to the public access channel and you click on Beech Grove, it specifically states that your meetings are being broadcast live and that the recorded monthly, they're shown over and over again monthly, and they're not. So all these, and this has been going on for quite some time, and I wasn't really, I had several people tell me, and I don't know why I didn't pay better attention to it, but I didn't. And somebody told me the other day that was pretty upset over it, and it was an older lady, and she said, I don't watch that YouTube, it's got a virus. And so I won't put it on my computer, and I was like, well, okay. And so I just thought I should bring that to your attention, because I hope that you guys will find a way to start broadcasting these meetings live again so that people can watch them and have access to their government, see what's going on, especially those that are disabled and can't get out and come to these meetings, and be able to see the recordings and things of them. I don't know who runs that channel now.
The school, I'll tell you, I got a call from the gentleman that's going to start it back up. They don't know how soon or anything else, but he's employed by the school. I told him at that time he wanted to know who was in charge of ours through the city, and I told him Tim Showalter, and Tim downloads them to YouTube, and the council has approved money to go live, but we got nowhere to go. That's the biggest problem. So anyway, I told this gentleman that I talked to at school through an email, I said Wiley Kraft was the one that was in charge of it over at school. He says, well, I took his place in 2016. So that's how far off everybody is on this. So hopefully the school will get it up and going. We've got money to move forward with live feed equipment, but at the present time, and I just asked Tim about it tonight, there's just nowhere to go with it. So right now it's probably the best we've got.
Okay, well, as a citizen, I would like to see the council and the city take it back, take the channel back and operate that so that people will have access to government, because they don't right now. And I would like to see the live feeds brought back and the recordings brought back on the TV so that we can watch them and see what you guys are doing, because we can't see anything. So, thank you.
Maybe we could put it on Facebook Live.
I think she said that little elderly
I
lady.
doubt that elderly
Yeah.
ladies are going to look at Facebook Live, honestly.
I think he
I'm not on Facebook, I was just joking.
What's involved with doing that, Mayor?
I don't know. That was all decided, given away prior to 2012. I have no clue. And it would probably cost us a lot of money to dig and research and find out what is going on with the schools. The school took it all over, so I don't know. This is way before Dan and I.
I wonder how the city of Indianapolis does theirs.
Probably a good place to start.
Ask your dad.
It sounds like right now that Dan has talked to the people in the school system, and at least we've got to start to find out what's going on, and we can go that route. It may take a year to get it done, but at least we're giving it a whirl.
So getting it access, that's the first step, is getting it so that.
I don't know if we've turned our cable rights over to the school. I don't know any of that.
Is that?
Anything else?
Would
We'll
Lynn
move on.
Reckaway know anything about that? Lynn Reckaway, or?
I don't know. He's more in the IT
Right, that's what I
stuff
thought,
than he
yeah.
is the
Okay.
live feed. Tim would probably know a little bit about it, but at the same time, this gentleman from the school, I gave him his name, and
So
he
maybe-
said as of tonight, he still hasn't contacted him, so.
Okay, but there's a step, okay.
Yep.
Anyone else sign up to speak, Craig? Okay, we'll move on to unfinished business. Greenscape Commission appointment. Council, you have an appointment to the Greenscape Commission that is vacant. We have one person here this evening who would like to serve. Amanda Rubidoux here. Amanda, want to come up and introduce yourself? Come on up.
My name is Amanda Rebedu. I'm a lifelong Beech Grove resident, live on 15th. Currently work for the city of Westfield in our economic development department. Married, daughter. I don't know what else you want to know.
Very good.
Anything else I should share?
Well, talk to Chad Stewart. He's working with Westfield on some parks ideas. So very good. Yeah.
Yep. Do you have any questions? Oh,
Do
sorry.
you work with the Grand Park?
Somewhat, not very. They're kind of separate since they do all the cool stuff and we don't. So that's where all the fun stuff happens.
But
Polls.
she's willing to serve as your rep on the Greenscape Commission.
Perfect, yeah. Well, I know that Angela McKenna was hoping to get like a master gardener class, so that would be awesome if you could get like a master gardener class.
All right.
But I'll.
Are there any other nominees?
Nominator.
Is anyone else interested? Well, I'll make a motion to appoint Amanda.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Congratulations. I'll get you sworn in and get all the information to you.
Okay, sounds
All right.
good.
Thank you, Amanda, for coming back tonight.
Thanks.
Council, you have a BZA appointment as well. Bob Maloof is not here this evening. Mike Garrett. Mike, come on up. Introduce yourself.
I'm Mike Garrett. I lived in Beech Grove for 28 years, and then I left for 15, but now I'm back. I'm retired. I work part-time at Home Depot some of the time, and then mostly I'm home. So I'd like to give another shot back into Beech Grove for all the time I spent here. And as a note of effort, that's my daughter, Amanda Rebedu.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm very proud of her.
Any questions for Mike?
Thank you for the email, and I made sure all the council persons received that.
Yes, ma'am.
Mike is a old railroader. How long did you work at the railroad?
Actually, no.
You didn't?
I'm a plumber.
Plumber.
Oh.
Sorry.
Would you take the old off?
Well,
I don't mind the old. Not that old.
also this evening, is Tammy Smith here? Tammy, come on up and introduce yourself. Tammy's also expressed an interest in serving on the BZA. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tammy Smith. I've been here for 13 years in Beech Grove. I live over on 18th Street. I'm a real estate agent with Arsenal Group Realty.
Thanks for coming up tonight. Any questions for Tammy? If not, I'll defer back to the council for a appointment. This BZA, for some reason, is getting busier and busier and busier. We have 4 sitting members, but we need a 5th. And Dan could enlighten you more because he's their secretary, so.
Plus, Rick Greenfield's here this evening. He's on the BZA, but it's a very important position, and we need that 5th person on there as quickly as possible.
So I'll defer back to the council. It's your appointment.
I'll make a motion to nominate Mr. David Garrett to the BZA.
I'll second that motion.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor to appoint Mike Garrett to the BZA?
What about the other lady? I make a motion to nominate her as well. Hey, I'm gonna make it tough.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, you have two motions, one for Mike Garrett and one for Tammy Smith. And I think it would be appropriate if we individually by voice vote for who you want to serve. Kevin?
Mike?
Tammy?
Mike?
Mike?
I'm gonna make it tough. Tammy?
We'll go for both of them, but.
I know.
It's a bummer when you're the last one, isn't it?
I'm gonna go for Mike.
Okay, so Dan, would that be
Wait a second.
Mike?
There was 4-2.
4-2.
In favor of Mike.
Okay. Another thought that Dan and I was talking about before the meeting started, and I think we'd have to go through DMD to see if this is even proper. Is it possible to have a
Alternate.
fill-in, alternate
An alternate person.
person?
Not by the statute.
Okay,
It's
that's
five-
what
it's
I was
five members, yeah,
wondering.
you can't have an alternate.
Okay, all right.
All right, you spoke, Mike Garrett is the appointment. His appointment will expire at the end of this year. Tammy, thank you so much for coming up. Mike, thank you for coming up. We'll move to General Ordinance Number 5, 2018. General Ordinance Number 5, 2018 is up for approval on second reading only. And I will ask for a motion to waive the rules to read by title only.
I'll make said motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We'll vote individually by title only, beginning on my left. Jim?
Title only.
Title only.
Title only.
Title only?
Title only.
Title only?
At this time, I'll ask the clerk to read the ordinance into the record on second reading only.
General Ordinance Number 5, 2018 is an ordinance that amends Chapter 15 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove concerning utility locate fees.
Thank you. This time, I'll ask for a motion to approve General Ordinance Number 5, 2018 on second reading only.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. We will hear this on third and final reading at the June 4th meeting. Now, before we go to General Ordinance 6, in your packet, you should have seen one of these budget printouts.
That's what it looks like.
10,000 spreadsheet. This one.
That is what the city of Beech Grove paid for utility locates for the entire year of 2017. We are paying more than this every month because of the ruling from the IURC. So it's imperative, the ordinance that you just heard on second reading, it's imperative that we pass that so that we shouldn't absorb these costs. These costs should be passed on. When you get a building permit where you have to excavate, you have to locate the utilities, especially the sanitary sewer. So we'll hear this on third and final reading at the June meeting. Thank you so much, council. General Ordinance Number 6, 2018 is an ordinance that cleans up Section 96 of the Code of Ordinances concerning refuse. At this time, I'll ask for a motion to waive the rules to read by title only.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
We'll begin voting on my left. Jim?
Title only.
Title only.
Title only.
Title only?
Title only.
Title only?
Dan?
General Ordinance Number 6, 2018 is an ordinance that amends Chapter 96 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove concerning the disposal of waste within the business district and the fee assessed for mattress and box spring pickup.
If you go down, Dan, to the delete the following, can you read the rest of it?
Yeah. Section 96.163, disposing of refuse within the business district. Do you want the now therefore?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
General Ordinance Number 6, 2018 is up for approval on second reading only this evening. At this time, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Hey,
Make a motion
Dennis,
to approve.
I apologize.
Liz got a question.
Why did we get this, because Vito, we weren't here on the last meeting, and we read through these, but what was the second page in our packet? I apologize, just explain.
The General Ordinance 6, the original ordinance,
Uh-huh,
before you heard it last meeting, there was a thing in there on mattresses.
uh-huh.
And before you introduced the ordinance on first reading, we decided that we were doing okay with that, so that was taken out. That's why you have a clean copy.
Okay, this is, okay,
All right, makes sense.
okay, thank you, thanks.
Motion to approve General Ordinance Number 6, 2018 on second reading only.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 6, second reading only.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. We will hear this on third and final reading at the June meeting. Thank you. General Ordinance Number 7, 2018 is an ordinance concerning parking on North 16th Street. And I think we better read this one into the record, Dan, entirely.
Okay. General Ordinance Number 7, 2018 is an ordinance that amends Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinance for the City of Beech Grove concerning parking on a public street. Whereas Holy Name Parish has purchased a parcel of land at 75 North 16th Avenue, and whereas the property is a lot only and has access from the alley and the street, and whereas Holy Name Parish would like to construct a community playground shared by both the parish and the local neighborhood, and has approached the city for guidance on this matter concerning the types of installations of equipment, and whereas Holy Name Parish has asked that parking be prohibited in front of 75 North 16th Avenue, so children at the parish and in the neighborhood can access the playground. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove concerning parking on a public street. Now therefore be it further affirmed that the Common Council desires the following amendments be added to Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances. Add the following to Chapter 78, Schedule 1, parking prohibited at all times. Street, North 16th Avenue, between 40 foot in front of 75 North 16th, to the east side, Ordinance Number 7, 2018. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance only applies to Chapter 78 and no other chapter. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance shall go into effect 30 days after passage by the Common Council, signed by the Council President Pro Tem, attested by the Clerk Treasurer, and signed by the Mayor.
Thank you. General Ordinance Number 7, 2018 is up for approval on second reading. This time I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Will there be signage? Do you think they'll put a sign up saying, okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve General Ordinance Number 7, 2018.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. We'll hear this on third and final reading at the June 4th meeting. That concludes unfinished business carried over from the previous meeting. Under new business, General Ordinance Number 8, 2018 is an ordinance up for approval on first reading only this evening. This ordinance, council, deals with sidewalk displays and outdoor seating on the sidewalks from Emerson Avenue to 8th Avenue on both sides of the street. And we encourage that type of displays and seating, but we also want the city protected. So what we're asking these businesses who want to do this is, if you desire to have outdoor seating and outdoor displays, to send a letter to the Board of Works to approve it. There's no fee, and with that approval will come proof of insurance holding the City of Beech Grove as additionally insured. The permission to do the outside seating and the displays is a one-time deal. According to the ordinance, giving your certificate of insurance is an annual.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the scope of this ordinance. Before I introduce it on first reading, is there anybody who wants to change it?
Is there, I read it and I didn't see in there, Dennis, about blocking foot traffic.
There is. If you look on page 2, number 3, it says the individual business requesting approval of outdoor seating or displays is responsible for lighting, each table, chair, aisle separation, egress, horizontal exiting through seating areas, and travel exiting, and any other accessories that may be included with the seating. The horizontal exiting would be if you're walking down Main Street and it's all clear and all of a sudden you come up on these seats, through there, it has to be clear and then it picks back up again. So you have to maintain that egress.
My question was making sure they would be responsible for cleanup and maintenance, but then in ordinance 6, I think ordinance 6, and we don't need to be, I think in 96.1, I think it probably covers that, because my question was, should we have in this ordinance responsible for maintaining the cleanup and pickup and leaving no trash, but I think ordinance 6, 96.1, I think it would cover that. Because it talks about avoiding littering, items with paper, dirt, refuse, and sharp, and keep the sidewalks. So I would think that would cover that, wouldn't you? I mean, I don't know that we need to add what's already covered in.
You can research it further, and if it's not, you can amend it at the next meeting.
Okay, that'll work.
But that's what this ordinance is about.
I have a question. I know that a lot of these places, like Napoli or D-Taps or some of the restaurant, or little restaurants, the bakery puts something out, and, it's hard to go in Napoli and eat 2 hours, and there's 2-hour parking on Main Street now. So, yeah, that can't be done. People can't go into Napoli and get a meal and sit and talk with people and park on Main Street with that in 2 hours' time. There's signs up there, it's 2-hour parking.
Yeah.
Okay, on Main Street. And I know there's families that go down with birthday parties and stuff, say the Napolis, and they got a whole family in there, they're sitting talking, and they're there 3 hours.
Didn't that say till 5 though?
Yeah.
I mean, do you
Now,
know-
Napoli's has lunch through the week,
Well, you got
but
some of
the
other-
parking expires at 5.
I was just saying, I didn't. I've been there I was just there for lunch and it didn't take us, I mean, they hardly had anybody in there, to be honest with you.
But if you had a birthday party or something.
So through the week, if you go there at 4 o'clock, then you would never be in violation because it expires at 5. And then on Sunday, they're not open. But the point of the matter is, Monday through Saturday until 5 p.m.
Okay. I just had some people talk to me about the 2-hour parking on Main Street when they go into Rustic Root to Tea Room and stuff like that. It's 2 hours. I mean, I know a lot of ladies go there and talk a long time. And-
I'm not touching that.
No, I'm not saying it to be mean or anything, but they go in groups and they like to talk and sit there.
Maybe the owner needs to kick them.
Well, it was a business, the 2 businesses that you just mentioned, and I won't mention any other business, there are some of the businesses that approached me about enforcing the parking rules.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it seems like it was designed to prevent owners of businesses parking out front of their business. I mean, if you're gonna own it, you want customers have parking in front of your business. Why are you parking out there? So, I mean, I think if you own it, park around back or walk down the block or something.
Have we issued a citation for the 2 hours?
We've marked, I don't know how many tires we've marked, and don't know. I don't know how many, I know we've marked several tires, or more than 1 tire. I know that. And that is a result of business owners on Main Street calling.
Is that the police department enforcing that? or
Compliance.
Compliance, okay.
All right, General Ordinance Number 8, 2018 is up for approval, or introduction on first reading.
Hey, Dennis.
Yeah.
Why would compliance be enforcing parking laws?
I don't think the police would enter into it until a vehicle had to be towed.
I mean, wouldn't it be a parking ticket?
Huh?
A parking ticket? I mean, compliance isn't going to issue a parking ticket.
I don't know, chief?
What usually happens is that compliance will tag it, or there could be an issue, then they would contact us, and then we would further investigate it. We would be able to find out who the owner was and do that.
That it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if we want to nip the problem in the butt, we should ticket it or tag it or whatever it needs to be done. But I mean, if we're just going to warn them, they're not going to move the car. I mean, the point of the 2 hours is for them to move the car, right?
Yes, and that's the reason you mark the tires, to see if the vehicle's been moved.
Or just marked it. All right. I don't know. Okay. It's fine. Spray paint.
This time I'll ask the clerk to read General Ordinance Number 8 into the record on first reading. Dan?
General Ordinance Number 8, 2018 is an ordinance that amends Chapter 73 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove concerning seasonal outdoor seating and business displays on Main Street from Emerson Avenue east to 8th Avenue. Whereas Main Street has been reconstructed and now conducive for outdoor seating and other displays for business customers, and whereas the city encourages local businesses to offer outdoor seating and displays for local dining and other specialty businesses, and whereas more and more specialty businesses are deciding to locate on Main Street and outdoor activities is an attractive component, and whereas the city oversees the sidewalks and must protect itself from liability with outdoor seatings and other displays. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council would like to amend Chapter 73 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove concerning pedestrians. Now therefore be it further affirmed that the Common Council desires the following amendments be placed in the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove. Delete Section 73.09, soliciting rides, business in its entirety, and replace with the following. Section 73.09, outdoor sidewalk seating and displays on Main Street. A, outdoor sidewalk seating and other displays are allowed on Main Street from Emerson Avenue to 8th Avenue, provided the following conditions are met. 1, a written request is submitted and approved by the Board of Public Works and Safety. The Board of Public Works and Safety may request further information, including a drawing of the proposed area. A business shall only be required to submit a letter of request one time at the initial time of request. 2, the applicant shall provide a certificate of insurance to the City of Beech Grove and the list City of Beech Grove as additional insured. This documentation with the same conditions must be supplied to the City of Beech Grove on an annual basis should an individual business desire to continue outdoor seating and or business displays year to year. 3, the individual business requesting approval of outdoor seating or displays is responsible for lighting each table, chair, aisle separation, egress, horizontal exiting through seating areas, and travel exiting, and any other accessories that may be included with the seating. 4, the City of Beech Grove, through its Board of Public Works and Safety, has the right to withdraw approval for any participation in outdoor seating or displays without cause. Should the Board of Public Works and Safety decide to withdraw its approval for any outdoor seating or display location, the Board of Public Works and Safety shall notify the individual business owner by mail of its intent. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend Chapter 73 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance only applies to Chapter 73 of the Code of Ordinances and no other chapter. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance shall go into effect 30 days after passage by the Common Council, signed by the Council President Pro Tem, attested by the Clerk Treasurer, and signed by the Mayor.
Any questions or comments?
Do we have any businesses waiting for this ordinance to happen before they can?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of agree with what Duffer said. You know, the only business I see on Main Street that really has adequate space to do this is Napoli's right here. Now, that area that's outside of their business that actually has a fence around it, is that theirs, or did they speak with the city to allow them to put the fence?
Everything that no, the fence was done with the reconstruction of Main Street. If I'm not mistaken.
I think it was the city of Beech Grove allowed that to happen, no. I thought that came after Main Street was done.
It may have. If it did, then Napoli's did it.
Because I'm just trying to think where, because out in front of these taps, I know they had like a little two-person table out there. That was about it. But I mean, if you put 6 tables out there, or 4 tables, I mean, well, how wide's the sidewalk? 12 feet? Maybe?
I don't know.
I mean,
Probably.
that's, wait. It's something, it seems like it would impede the right of way of people walking. I mean, the time people eat dinner on Main Street is also the big time where people are out walking their dog and walking. I mean, I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying Napoli's has the perfect setup for it. There's not many other businesses on Main Street that have a setup like that.
I know Dee's puts 2 tables out.
The bakery wants to put some.
Yeah, the bakery wants to put tables out. The Harvey's wants to redo their front of their building to accommodate that, and there's a couple others. But there's nobody that's came here in the last couple of days and said, we want to do this.
I mean, I think it's a great idea. I just don't think that the infrastructure of the sidewalk currently is set up for pedestrian traffic and dining. That's just my opinion.
But we would need this even to accommodate Napoli's then, correct?
Yeah, they already do it.
Yeah. So this is,
They've already they sent a letter in last year. The only thing that we're waiting on them is their insurance this year.
so if we don't do something like this, then that restricts them from having what they have.
Oh, I know. No, I mean,
Okay,
I would just voice my concerns, but I mean,
okay.
Is Main Street part of the Greenway project?
Not yet, it will be. The clerk has read it into the record. At this time, I'll ask for a motion to approve General Ordinance Number 8, 2018 on first reading only.
I'll make that recommendation.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign.
Aye. Who said aye? Kevin?
We will hear it on second reading at the June 4th meeting. Thank you, council. General Ordinance Number 9, 2018 is an ordinance that amends Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances concerning fees for commercial roofs. It's been changed to category, into a separate category, and it's based on square footage. And it's into 4 different categories, up to 2,500, 2,501 to 5,000 square feet, 5,001 square feet to 10,000 square feet, and anything over 10,000. The over 10,000 is the one that I know there's been at least one business owner come to you and say that this is exorbitant, I can't afford to do this. So what I recommend to the council is that you adjust that fee down to where it's anything over 10,000 square feet is $1,000 permit. Do you remember when the guy from the Marine Center came in here? I don't know what his permit was going to be.
I think it was right around $29,000, something like that.
So, and then you guys went and reduced it to $1,000. So that's what this ordinance is. And it puts it in a separate category. So I'll open it up to any comment.
Dan, how much would this affect permit revenue? I mean, do we really get that many permits for over 10,000 feet?
Not to my knowledge, no. I think Mike's was probably the first one. I take that back. I think when Marsh redid theirs, but they're far and few between.
Okay.
I'd say if you had one a year, it would be a lot.
So at this time, I'll ask the clerk to read General Ordinance Number 9, 2018 into the record on first reading.
General Ordinance Number 9, 2018 is an ordinance that amends Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove concerning permit fees for commercial buildings. Whereas the Common Council established new permit fee rates for construction and activity within the City of Beech Grove, and whereas permits are required and necessary to ensure proper construction, activities, and inspections, and whereas the city prides itself on ensuring that quality work is done and local residents are protected against poor quality of work, and whereas the fees for commercial roofing are recommended to be adjusted downward in an effort to work with our commercial businesses. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove. Now therefore be it further affirmed that the Common Council desires the following amendments be added to Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances. Chapter 50.067 fees for construction, replacement, additions, or remodeling of structures other than one or two family. Add the following subsection: commercial roof fee based on square footage. Up to 2,500 square feet, $250 per each separate structure. 2,501 to 5,000 square feet, $400 per each separate structure. 5,001 to 10,000 square feet, $650 per each separate structure. Over 10,000 square feet, $1,000 per each separate structure. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance only applies to Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances and no other chapter. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance shall go into effect 30 days after passage by the Common Council, signed by the Council President Pro Tem, attested by the Clerk Treasurer, and signed by the Mayor.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve General Ordinance Number 9, 2018 on first reading only.
I'll make a motion to approve General Ordinance Number 9, 2018, first reading.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. We will hear this on second reading at the June 4th meeting. Thank you, Council. The last new ordinance this evening is General Ordinance Number 10, 2018, and it reconfigures the appointments to the Beech Grove Parks and Recreation Board. In the past, there were 6 appointments to the Parks Board. 4 from the mayor, 2 of them had to be Republican, and 2 of them had to be Democrat. 1 appointment from the Beech Grove Public Library, and 1 appointment from the Beech Grove City Schools. The Beech Grove Public Library merged with Marion County. So it came into question whether they had an appointment anymore or not. So in the meantime, the Parks Board was asking for another appointment. So we moved to reconfigure the appointments to the Parks Board. And what the alignment is now with this ordinance is that the school district still has 1 appointment. The mayor has 3 appointments, non-political. You got to get rid of that Republican Democrat. And you need to put people on there who will serve the Parks Board. So the mayor has 3 appointments. The school district has 1 appointment, and the council has 2 appointments. So, and that aligns with the redevelopment commission appointments. The mayor has 3, the council has 2. The BZA appointments, the council has 3, DMD have 2. So it becomes more consistent, And just like the RDC and the DMD, BZA, your parks appointments after their term ends would be on an annual basis. So it's all set up the same. Any thoughts on that? It's hard enough to get people to serve, but you gotta have people on the Parks Board who are willing to serve. Get rid of the Republican, get rid of the Democrat. Put people on there who want to serve the parks. Questions or comments?
Is there any legalities as far as statute that this would?
No, it's fine. We had to, this is the mayor's discretion how you reconfigured it, but, since there is no Beech Grove Public Library, that made it, we had to fill a void. And John Parks is the one who brought this to our attention, although we talked about it. So, no, this is fine.
Okay.
No other questions or comments? I'll ask for the clerk to read general ordinance number 10 into the record for first reading only, please.
General Ordinance Number 10, 2018 is an ordinance amending Chapter 35 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove concerning the Beech Grove Public Library appointment to the Parks Board, whereas the Beech Grove Public Library Board has an appointment to the City of Beech Grove Department of Parks and Recreation Board, and whereas the Beech Grove Public Library Board voted to merge services with the Indianapolis-Marion County Library, and whereas the Beech Grove Public Library Board has been dissolved, which puts into question the appointment of a representative to the City of Beech Grove Department of Parks and Recreation Board, and whereas the City of Beech Grove Department of Parks and Recreation Board is short a voting member and desires to have a full board. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend Chapter 35 of the Code of Ordinances concerning the Beech Grove Public Library Board appointment of a representative to the City of Beech Grove Department of Parks and Recreation Board. Now therefore be it further affirmed that the Common Council desires that the following amendments be added to Chapter 35 of the Code of Ordinances. Delete Section 35.011 members in its entirety and replace with the following. Section 35.011 members. A, the Board of Parks and Recreation shall be composed of 6 members. 1 member is of the governing body of the school corporation, and 5 members shall be from the civil city of Beech Grove. B, the mayor shall select 3 citizens who reside in Beech Grove on the basis of their interest and knowledge of our parks and recreation system. C, the city council shall select 2 citizens who reside in Beech Grove on the basis of their interest and knowledge of our parks and recreation system. D, the governing body of the school district, school board, shall select 1 citizen who resides in Beech Grove on the basis of their interest and knowledge of our parks and recreation system. E, each appointment member's term shall be for 1 year commencing after the current 4-year term has concluded. Term shall conclude on December 31st of each year. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend Chapter 35 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance only applies to Chapter 35 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove and no other ordinance. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance shall go into effect 30 days after passage by the Common Council, signed by the Council President Pro Tem, attested by the Clerk Treasurer, and signed by the Mayor.
Any questions or comments?
Now, do we have a full board now?
No.
That's what I thought. Okay. So we're, what are we short? 'Cause
1.
Just the 1.
Whose appointment is that?
I'll let it be the city council's appointment.
Tammy. Tammy.
Do it tonight.
Parks Board. Seriously.
I would wait until this
I'm
ordinance
sorry.
is passed.
I know. Thank you. Well, she's here. Come back.
No other questions or comments. I'll ask for a motion to approve General Ordinance Number 10, 2018 on first reading only.
Make the motion, we approve ordinance number 10, first reading.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Thank you, council. We will hear this again on, at the June 4th meeting. Last order of new business is conflict of interest statement for Tara Wolf. Tara was your appointment on the redevelopment commission. And the redevelopment commission has a joint project concerning the Greenway with the city of Beech Grove. Tara's husband works for Crossroad Engineer, who is the design engineer on the Greenway. So what we want to do tonight is, the RDC has already approved it, the Board of Public Works and Safety has approved it. Now it's up to you folks to approve it. We just want to disclose that publicly, that her husband serves on for Crossroads, and at times, there will be business being done concerning the Greenway that she will have to abstain from. So that's the reason for this conflict of interest form this evening. So I'll defer to the council for any questions or comments. If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the uniform conflict of interest disclosure statement for Tara Wolf.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. We'll have the clerk, I think we've already signed it, haven't we, Dan?
Yeah.
We'll have Dan sign it in. And that concludes new business. What I passed out earlier to you was the white copy was the copy of a income survey. If what you approve tonight, they will get this. This is what it will look like. It will say the city of Beech Grove on it. And we'll have a self-addressed envelope that gets returned to whoever you hire to do this. And then the survey is a one-page survey on the back. So that's what you approved this evening. And Mike Kleinpeter gave me this to share with all of you this evening.
And Dennis, just to comment a little further, once this thing is done, if it's approved, it's good for anything in the city. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to revolve around the Economic Development Commission. So I think that's something that just needs.
We tried to do it in 2013 to buy a fire truck.
Right.
And we had to stop because our ordinances was so horrid. They were awful. So anyway, that's,
Just, and the information on those surveys, I mean, there's parts of it that is confidential. It's just, they're just getting the income, so they're not using, I mean, there's, as far as transparency, the individual person's income, that's confidential, correct? I'm sure it is.
I would assume it is.
Yeah.
Resident.
Yeah.
It's not in.
Comments from council members, beginning on my left. Jim?
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who showed up tonight, and I really appreciate everybody being here. And I'd also like to invite everybody here to this year's Indy Southeast Relay for Life. It's going to be held June 15th and 16th, from 6 o'clock in the evening on Friday to 6 o'clock Saturday in the evening at Beech Grove High School. And football field, come and help us fight cancer.
It's not down here at the pit?
It'll be at the high school this year. We're gonna do that to the high school. In case it rains, we'll have a place to have the survivor dinner inside and stuff like that. So,
Do you know the first year that we had it at the high school, do you remember? The high school didn't want to turn the lights on.
well, seeing that Matt English is gonna be with us working at it, I think we'll get the lights.
We'll get the lights. Well, things change.
Thank everyone for coming. And quick story I got. Last week, I went to Louisville, Kentucky for South Grove Elementary participated in the World Championship Robotics. It was one of the neatest things you'll ever see. And Mr. Yeoman, who's the teacher, these guys just don't get enough credit. This guy started in November with this robotics team. Ended last week. Every Wednesday, he stayed till 5:30. The kids that drove the robotic would go in at 8 in the morning. He was there. I can't say enough about a teacher that put in so much time. And quick story. 35 teams participated around the world. Of the last 12, go figure, 9 of them were from China. They were of the last 12. Beech Grove finished in the top 25%, which was very good for one of the few teams from the United States. I won't say that finished in the top 25%, but did that well from Indiana. It was one of the neatest things you ever see. I mean, it was kind of boring, but to watch these kids do what they did, they would practice with these other teams before they participated. And my grandson was a driver, along with, I don't know, some of you know Jason Hammer, his son, Jacob, is also a driver. And they go up to this team from Beijing, China. And my grandson, the teacher says, "No, these guys may not speak English, you know." And my grandson goes up to this kid from Beijing, "Do you speak English?" And I don't know if he thought he was trying to communicate, and the kid looks at him and says, "Yes, I do, very fluently. Do you speak Chinese?" My grandson says, "No, not a word." But it was the neatest thing. But ends up, you can get 400 points for these, what you do. Beech Grove averaged 170, something like that. Chinese teams averaged 306. And the last go-around, 2 teams from China were paired. They got 396 of the 400 rings you could do, which was unbelievable. They even beat, these were elementary kids, 4th grade to 6th grade. They even beat the middle school teams that were there. I mean, they didn't participate against them, but no middle teams scored that high. It was unbelievably phenomenal. Of course, the Chinese won. I figured it was them or the Japanese. So, but Indiana had the most. I think they had the most representatives for the intermediate school. And Mr. Yeoman is going to try and put an all-girls team together. I told my grandson and Jacob were one of the main drivers for their team. I told my grandson, I said, "Look, you could do it 2 ways next year. You could do it with, your team, and you could get in with the girls." He said, "But Mr. Yeoman says it's an all-girls team." I said, "Hey, they're letting girls into the Boy Scouts. You can get in." But he declined. So, but I think Mr. Yeoman, I mean, teachers are teachers. My God, you think they want to get out of there at 3:30 or something, but this guy was there, for 6 months. And it's quite a feat what they did. That's all I got.
Peter?
Just thanks for everyone coming out tonight. See you next month.
I just want to send out an applaud to Angel McKenna and Going Green the Grove. It was a great success. At 500 trees from Arbor Day Foundation. Fantastic event. Everybody should put it on their calendars and make sure you come to the event next year. Angel's she's just really breathing new life into that community center, and you just see daily new things happening. So I just really want to applaud her and her efforts for our community center, and it was just a very successful day. It was really a great event.
No comment.
I just want to thank everybody for coming.
Council and the public, on the 16th of May, we'll have the Beech Grove Drug-Free Coalition will have their event on Main Street here between 8th and 9th. I think it begins at 5:30, so you may want to visit that. That would be a good thing.
Evening.
In the evening. The memorial service in the park is Saturday, May 26th at 11 a.m. So we encourage everyone to participate in that. Come down and take a look at that. So having said that,
Dennis?
yeah.
Could I ask one quick question? Something I didn't know earlier. Since we don't have any live feed, there is no way for most of the public to know what's going on? Is that true?
I think most of it would come from the website.
Website and YouTube. The meeting is fed through YouTube, so you can see it in its entirety.
You know that.
Yes, you can see it in its entirety. Uh-huh.
Any other comments? If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make said motion.
I'll second.
The meeting is adjourned. Dan, I don't know what time.
8:25.
8:25. We will reconvene on June 4th.